Hi guys, welcome back to the Success Rebellion Entrepreneur Vlog with myself, Ryan Jackson. And on today's episode, I'm going to be taking you through the process of setting up a limited company here in the UK. As I said in the intro, this video is about guiding you through the process of setting up a limited company here in the UK. Now, setting up as a limited company isn't necessarily your only option when forming a business here in the UK. There are alternative vehicles. The main one being is setting up or operating as a sole trader. Now, this serves a purpose to a particular point, but if you're looking to build a high-performing business, then it would definitely be the limited company option that I would recommend you to take. So let me just give you a bit of context as to why I wouldn't recommend you setting up as a sole trader. So one of the main reasons being is that as a sole trader, it's not very tax efficient. So when you start to generate income streams beyond a certain point, it's always more beneficial for you to operate under the vehicle of a limited company. And secondly, as a sole trader, you have unlimited liability, meaning that there's no differentiation between you and the business. Yeah, you are the business. So that means if the business starts to experience any financial troubles, starts to get into debt, that means you are therefore liable for that debt and you have to then service it. And as I said before, one of the biggest bonuses of you operating under a limited company is the fact that it provides you the opportunity to be more efficient when it comes to your taxation. With the help of a good accountant, he can provide you some advice and guidance on what you need to do in order to allow your money to work with you. Inside of the law, of course, but there are ways in which you can be financially smarter in order for the system to work for you. Whereas as a sole trader, you don't necessarily have those opportunities. So they would be the reason as to why I would always recommend setting up as a limited company. Okay, so what I'm gonna be doing now is quite literally just guiding you through the process, step by step, as I complete the application for the company that I'm intending to incorporate today. Okay, so just follow me. Okay, so if you just get up any web browser, and on that web browser, if you just type in company's house, for the purpose of today I'm using Chrome, but it makes no difference. So you got the listing for company's house. Now, basically it's quite a popular choice, so they've set up a quick tab for us to go to. So I'm going to click straight on it, starting a company. And as you come onto the main page, you've got a number of different options and a number of different tabs. So register a company, guidance, standard templates, partnerships, overseas companies, European companies. But I don't want to confuse things, so I'm just going to keep it as simplistic as possible and just stick to what we're here to do, and that is to set up a private limited company. So when you click on the private limited company tab, you're taken through to this page. Limited companies. A limited company is a company limited by shares or limited by a guarantee. Limited by shares companies are usually businesses that make a profit. We hope so. So this means the company is legally separate from the people who run it. So as I mentioned earlier, a sole trader wouldn't be considered a separate entity. They are their business. So if the business gets into financial turmoil, they then bear the responsibility of that debt or that financial responsibility. So, you know, that's something that we want to avoid. So we're going for a limited company. Limit by shares has separate finances from your personal ones, has shares and shareholders, and can keep any profits it makes after tax. Limit by guarantee. Limited by guarantee companies are usually non-for-profit. This means the company is legally separate from the people who run it, has separate finances for your personal ones, has guarantors and a guaranteed amount, invest profits it makes back into the company. Yeah, so you just got a bit of a background as to the different types of limited companies. So you've got limited by shares or limited by guarantee. And with this as well, you may be setting up a company on the basis that it's not just you who will be an active shareholder and director. You may have partners, there may be a number of you. So with that being said, before you form any company, my recommendation would always be to first write out a shareholders agreement. And so what the shareholders agreement is an agreement in place by all shareholders as to what their responsibilities are and how essentially how profits and dividends and everything else will be split up. So it just provides total clarity. So I see so many people entering into business partnerships with no form of documentation, so the people aren't clear and everyone then starts to form a different agenda. At the moment when they set up the company, everyone seems to be on the same page, but then everyone goes off on their own tangent and it gets a bit messy. And this can be the one thing that actually saves your business, because irrespective if you're arguing a point or not, whatever's on the shareholders agreement is what everyone's agreed to and is what in essence they're bound by. So it can just save you so much hassle in the future. So it would always be my recommendation to have this in place so everybody knows where they stand, everybody knows what their responsibilities and what their duties are, and it just can determine as to how you decide to split up the revenue shares, profits, etc. At later dates when the business then starts to become profitable. I'm going to include some of these in the description below or some references so you can actually have access into that information yourself, but I'm going to have to scour on the internet for hours at a time trying to find it. Okay, so for the benefit of this video, we're just going to fast track this process so we can get right into it. And remember what I mentioned about existing trademarks, very important, and they never used to have this feature on the website, but they do now. So it gives you opportunity to check against existing trademarks to make sure you're not infringing upon someone else's IP. Just scroll down to the very bottom and register the company with Companies House. However, I think it would be very valuable for you to go through the process just to give you greater background and understanding of what's involved when it comes to setting a limited company, what your responsibilities are and how the whole process works. So we're just going to fast track it for the purpose of this video. So register your company. Use this service to register your company with Companies House. You'll be registered for corporation tax at the same time. Again, it's just giving you a bit more information on what you will expect to receive. So you get a certificate of incorporation, which confirms the company legally exists and shows the company number and date of formation, and also tells you exactly what information you'll need when actually setting up a limited company, and obviously what the cost implication, because it's not free. So it's £12 as you can see. Now there are companies out there who can register a company on your behalf, and even an accountant can do that for you. However, I've had a friend quite recently went via his accountant to set up a company, and his accountant charged him £200. Why pay £200 when you can save £188 and pay £12 to do it yourself? Okay, there's going to be no difference at all. So in order to make payment, it has to be by debit or credit card, or even they're accepting PayPal now. So I've moved on since the last time I registered the company. So we're just going to go straight through to it now. Register now. Are you starting a new application? Yes. We're going to ask some questions. Your answers will show whether you can use this service to register a limited company and set up corporation tax, take you to another service if you're not eligible to use this one. Hopefully I'm eligible, guys. So is the new business taking over another business? No, it's a separate entity. Are any directors or persons with significant control on the Companies House secure register? So the secure register is for victims of threatening behaviour or violence who cannot risk their home and address information on a public register. So no. You will now create a government gateway user ID for this company. Okay. Email address. So I'm going to be covering this because I don't really want to be sharing my personal details with the world, but just know that I'm actually entering my email address here. So what happens now, they've sent a email through to my address, to which I have the code here. Just copy and paste. Voila. Full name. Brian Jackson. Create a password. Alright, close your eyes, guys. Quick take a photo of that. So I have it for future reference. They also send an email copy, but I just like to have it stored in as many formats as possible. Which email address do you want to use for the application? So the one that I gave. What is your relationship to the company? So I'm going to be the company director. Will the company be a community interest company? No. Will the company be limited by shares or limited by guarantee? So this company that I'm setting up will be limited by shares. What is the company name? So what is the company's registered office address? So I'm going to put my office address. So a list of different addresses comes up here. Where will the company be registered? So the company will be registered England and Wales. What is the company's principal place of business? So this would be your registered address. This is where your principal place of business will be. So it will be at my office address. Let's give us one or more ways to contact Wire Payment Limited. We only do this if we have questions about the company's corporation tax. So give a mobile number if you have one. For the purposes, I don't really want to do so, so I'll just give them the office number. Sometimes I think the less information the government's having you, the better. When will the company start trading? On a different future date. So it's likely that it won't start trading to the, say, 1st of September, thereabouts. In its first 3 months, will the company do any of the following? In some situations, the company may need to account for income tax. The most common situations are listed below. Test if the company will pay interest on any non-bank loans, for example, to a director who's loaned the company money, make royalty payments, for example, for using someone else's patent, receive interest or dividend payments from overseas investments. So the answer is no for my particular situation, but they may differ depending. I think generally for a lot of you, that's not going to be the case. This would be a payment facility. So as you can see, I'm experiencing some difficulty trying to find the nature of what it is that I do. So down here, it says you can check the list of trade descriptions, which opens in a new window. So let's just scroll down. (96090). So just for the purpose of here, I'm just going to put other 6 activities NEC. Without spending hours on it, I'm just going to go with what I believe to be correct. So other information. Check and confirm what your company will be doing. If you're moving goods into or out of the EU, including the UK, you need to get an EORI number. You don't need an EORI number if you're only moving goods between Northern Ireland. Okay, so we don't need to worry about that for now. Nothing to do with us. Has anyone on this application ever sent a secure register form to ask companies' household protection? No. Director's details. Director's details will appear on the public record except for the full date of birth. So, Mr. Ryan, so I'm just gonna weigh this out, guys. Has a director used a different name for business purposes in the last 20 years? No. Nationality, British. So here, you just enter in all your details. Then your current job title. So mine would just be company director. So what is the correspondence address for Ryan Jackson? My advice is to always give an office address, or a lot of the time people tend to give their accountant's address. So I, for one, don't really want to be divulging my home address, so just put the company details on there. What is the home address for Ryan Jackson's? Okay, so you can give your home address, however, it won't be found on public register. It won't be divulged, so they say. So it asks you confirm as to where the director lives. Just make sure that is your home address. Agree to become a director. I confirm that the person named here becomes the director of the company. You're about to set up the company's shareholders. We'll ask you to tell us who the company shareholders are, tell us how many shares you want to give to them, share a value for each share, confirm the shareholders and shares you've created. The company must have at least one shareholder. Each shareholder must have at least one share. Is Ryan Jackson a shareholder? Yes. Would you like to add another shareholder? No. Check and confirm shareholder details. Each shareholder's name and address will appear on the public record and be available online. Confirm and continue. Do you want to use the most common types of shares? For this purpose, yeah. Now, as you can see here, it asks you, do you want to use the most common types of shares? There are actually a number of different shares that you can have, A shares, B shares, and so on. And they all have different powers within the company, different rights. If you are going down that route, I suggest that you seek the advice of a qualified accountant, because they can give you a lot more insight into, you know, the best way to structure that. And I would advise that they distribute the shares according to what you want. Just the, you know, they're more practiced and more rehearsed in the process of doing so. So the point whereby you've got a number of different shareholders and different levels of shares, then please just get a qualified accountant to assist you in that process. Only choose no if you need to create more than one type of share or need to set up shares in a different way. So we only want the most common type of shares. How many shares does Ryan want? So for the purpose of this, I'm requesting 100 shares. So even though I'm going to be a shareholder now, it may be an idea at a later date where I might need to get funding. It could be a part of a package that I might offer to directors to give them some equity within the business as well. So I think generally 100 just makes life a lot easier and makes it easier to distribute. So yeah, it just makes more sense. So if I click save and collect, choose a value for each share, so £1. So how many shares does Ryan Jackson own? 100, share value, £1. So what he's saying now is that each share is worth £1. So at this point, where the business isn't trading, if somebody wanted to come in and buy, say, 20% of the business, in theory, you have to give me £20. that's the values that's associated with a share. So you're about to set up the persons with significant control of the company. Based on the shareholder information we've already given, we know some information about the company's PSCs. We'll guide you through the process. So the PSCs is the person with significant control. If none of the shareholders in the company own more than 24% of his shares, the company may not have a person with significant control. You still have to confirm this. So what a person with significant control is: a person who has more than 25% of the company's shares and voting rights. They have the right to appoint or remove directors and the right to make decisions or influence decisions that affect the company. From your previous answers, we know that Ryan Jackson is a person with significant control. That's correct. So it's just confirming that I have the right to appoint and remove the majority of company directors. So you will also want that same right. So I just need to check through this to make sure that all the information is correct. So some of the information on here is personal, like my home address. So for the purpose of the video, I won't be including it on here. So just click these two boxes confirming where the person in control lives, and also confirm control of the company. So it's just a statement that I am in control of Wire Payment Limited. Model Articles of Association. So all limited companies must have articles of association. These are the rules for directors and shareholders about how to run a company. Model articles are a standard set of rules that have been written to suit most companies. If you don't use model articles, you'll have to write and upload bespoke articles. You need to ensure they comply with the law, otherwise your application may be rejected. I'm not going to go into it now, but I suggest that you do so just to familiarize yourself with what they are and what the guidelines and the rules are around running a company. So it says, do you agree to form the company? Shareholders must agree to form the company. This is done in the form of a legal statement called the Memorandum of Association. You'll be sent the official version by email once registered. So that's just me confirming to that. So I have to create an electronic signature. Also, they're requesting personal information, so no different like banks these days or even utility suppliers. Sometimes you have to give a password or some form of information that's private to you, to which they can validate that you're the correct person they're speaking to. Check and confirm your answers. So just scroll down, just making sure everything is correct. And once you're happy, confirm and continue. Again, second page, just ensuring that everything is as it should be. Again, some of the details have been obscured for the purpose of the video. Now, once you're totally happy that everything is as it should be, just click. So you're going onto the payment page now. You're about to make a secure payment of £12. Before you pay, please make a note of the company's house submission number. So again, just write it down on a piece of paper, take a photo, whatever is easiest for you. To make payment, so you've got a number of options: Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. So we're entering the digital age now. PayPal's a lot easier because I don't have to then get my card out. I can just do it literally straight away once you can remember the password. It often helps if you can. Voila, application submitted. So you just apply to set up a limited company and register it for corporation tax. Very important to make a note of this. You should receive an email confirming this information, but anyway, just take a photo, write on a piece of paper just in case that email doesn't come through. So what happens next? If your application is successful, they'll send you an email within 2 working days. Generally, it does happen quite soon, so you normally get it within 24 hours. But because of the current COVID situation, it might take a little bit longer. A letter with instructions on how to access the company's corporation tax online, and another letter within 15 working days with the company's unique taxpayer reference number. Keep all this information safe. especially the UTR, because you're going to need that at a later date. Your accountant's going to need that information from you as well. So just click continue. Just give you a slight overview just to tell you where you're at. So the status now is pending as that's being processed. Hopefully you should hear back within the next couple of dates, just confirming the success of your application. Generally speaking, 99 times out of 100, it's always a positive one. So congratulations. On this page as well, where you can see it's got some information relating to PAYE. So use this service to register a company if it will do either of the following in the next 2 months: paying employees, pay any amount to employees. So if you are looking to start operating fairly soon and bring people on board, employees, etc., my advice is not to go through this process yourself. You want to be able to spend the time or have the time to work on your business, not be processing PAYE applications and everything else. So find yourself a reputable accountant and allow them to take that responsibility over for you, so you can concentrate on actually making a success of your business. So there you have it, the application is complete. And as you can see, it only took us around 15 or 20 minutes to complete the application from start to finish. And although when you're going through it, I recommend that you take that little bit of extra care to just familiarize yourself with all elements of the process and just gain a greater understanding. But I guarantee you, it will be time well spent, time well invested, because it can only add to your business repertoire. So I hope this video served some value to you today and gave you a deeper insight as to what is involved when setting up your own limited company here in the UK. And if you haven't already, please leave some questions in the comment sections below and I will get back to you as soon as I get the opportunity. Also within the description, I'm going to be including some links and some references that will help you when you're completing that application yourself. Please subscribe to the Success Rebellion channel, where I'm going to be sharing loads more videos on success, entrepreneurism and business. You can also catch me across my other social channels, that's Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, the Success Rebellion, also LinkedIn, Ryan Jackson. Thank you very much guys, it's been amazing, and you can catch me on the next episode of the Success Rebellion Entrepreneur Blog.